Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for August 17th, 2014. It's currently 11:15 a.m. We had a few showers move through this morning. We still have a few showers to get through until the early afternoon hours, but then it's going to clear out and it's going to be absolutely beautiful for this afternoon and evening. So if you have evening plans or you're going to a baseball game or anything of that nature, don't worry. By the time we get to about 2 p.m., everyone's going to clear out. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, with falling humidity and temperatures pretty much near to slightly below normal for this time of year. This upcoming week, though, not as good. Now, I know that there's been some talk about a warm-up, and I warned against that idea, and there were specific reasons why, which I'll explain in the upcoming data that I'm going to show. But basically what we're looking for is an unsettled, active, cool, sometimes wet weather pattern for this upcoming week, with some humidity, but that's mostly because temperatures are going to be so cool and we're going to have an influx from the Atlantic Ocean. So let's take a look at the latest data and observations. So the observations as of 11 a.m. show a pretty average to slightly below normal temperature pattern for this time of year as of 11 a.m. Temperatures are in the upper 60s to lower 70s over the interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast. We have winds from the west and southwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, we do have multiple cold fronts moving through the region. The primary cold front, as you could tell, is way back here in Pennsylvania, well, northwestern Pennsylvania and western New York. You can tell the difference, especially in the dew points. The dew points are falling into the 50s over western and northwestern Pennsylvania and western New York. And we're still in the lower to mid 60s over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. So I can't rule out a shower until early this afternoon, and then after that we start to clear out as that cold front moves through. You can see on the surface map that last cold front that's going to move through the region, and behind it a very impressive polar air mass and high pressure system will take control for this afternoon on through tomorrow, providing excellent weather conditions. We're talking about temperatures in mid-August in the upper 70s to lower 80s for highs, upper 50s to lower 60s for lows tomorrow morning. Even a few mid to upper 40s mixed in there in portions of the interior, let's say around Poughkeepsie, for example. And temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the upper 70s to lower 80s once again. This time of year you could see heat waves in the mid 90s, so clearly we are having an excellent summer when it comes to temperatures, and temperatures averaging basically near to below normal for this time of year. And that's been the theme all the way going back to June. We had a little bit of a minor, not even heat wave, but a little bit of a warm, humid spell in the first week of June. We had another one around mid-July. But other than that, we really haven't seen much in the way of heat this summer, and it looks like that's going to continue to be the trend moving on. So this high pressure system is going to play a key role in our weather pattern throughout this upcoming week. And the reason why is because this high pressure system, not this one, but this one, is going to be a dominant influence in transporting a marine air mass into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. And as a result, we're going to keep our temperatures pretty much near to slightly below normal, with periods of rain as a threat through the forecast period. So let's take a look at the radar. You can see a few of those showers moving through. They're now exiting Long Island. They're going to still continue to move through central and southern New Jersey through the late morning hours and the Philadelphia metro. I'm watching this area right here for the potential for a few isolated showers popping up for the early afternoon hours with that cold front moving through. But other than that, you can see here's another batch, very, very weak, very isolated. Again, not a washout for today, not in any way, shape, or form. Sure, we dodged a few showers this morning and into the early afternoon hours, but by this late afternoon, especially after 3 o'clock, it is going to be wonderful outside and perfect for any outdoor activities. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see that secondary cold front approaching the region. Clearing skies are on the way. Few disturbances mixed in ahead of that cold front. That's what's producing the showers. But overall, we're not really looking at a washout in any way, shape, or form. And this air mass right here, these clear to sky clouds right here, is what will set in place for tomorrow afternoon with some very comfortable weather conditions. Now let's go to the water vapor satellite picture, and we got all of North America. Now, I mentioned I had some data suggesting why we shouldn't really see any hot and humid weather conditions. And the first thing I want to point out is this right here. You see this upper level low shifting towards the Canadian Maritimes? This upper level low will lock in place and kind of spin out here. And as a result, especially for this time of year, it leads to a high pressure system locking in right around the Canadian Maritimes to the Gulf of Maine. And that leads to an easterly to southeasterly wind coming off of the Atlantic Ocean from roughly 850 millibars down to the surface. Now aloft at 500 millibars, you have a variety of different influences. You have a ridge trying to build here. You have a trough trying to dig itself over the northwestern Atlantic. You have this right here. This is the Pacific pattern. Now, what's happening here is that we're kind of reloading the pattern. We're not changing the pattern. In order to change the pattern, you have to have a change in the fundamental driving influences in the weather pattern. And it's just not changing. You have a very warm northern Pacific PDO. Okay, that's a positive PDO that generally leads to a trough around the Aleutian Islands. Now, the 500 millibar pattern and weather patterns in general do not just stay in place continuously. They wax and wane, they intensify and de-amplify. It's a normal pattern recognition aspect that you deal with. But there's a difference between a relaxation and a change. What we're going through right now is a basic relaxation of the weather pattern for a very short period of time. What prevents us from seeing hot and humid weather conditions is this upper level low and the state of the atmosphere over the northwestern Atlantic. Basically, I'm looking at stratospheric influences, lower heights overall over the northern Atlantic, above normal heights, basically focused around Greenland, around northeastern Canada. These are all clues saying, yeah, the southeast is probably going to warm up to normal. It'll get back a little bit hot and humid because it is summer down there. And up here, what we basically have here is an influence from the northwestern Atlantic. And the reason why is because of this upper level low here. So we're seeing all sorts of different competing influences here, and sometimes it's just a matter of trying to figure out which one's the most dominant feature. And what you have here basically in the northern Pacific is a brief relaxation, but we end up with a trough back here towards the Aleutians once again, which allows the heights to build over the Gulf of Alaska into Western Canada and a broad trough over much of the eastern United States. So let's take a look at the model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website using the European model guidance. Now first we're going to start off with the general view here of the model. We got the trough here shifting towards the northwestern Atlantic, that cold front moving through, temperatures reaching the upper 70s to lower 80s for highs this afternoon. For tonight, that cold front clears, skies clear, temperatures fall. A few locations in the mid to upper 40s in some of those secluded valleys in, let's say, northwestern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, the Hudson River Valley, and northwestern Connecticut. Otherwise, looking at lower to mid 50s over the interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast for lows. For tomorrow, Monday, high pressure in control. It's going to be a beautiful day. You're probably not wanting to go to work tomorrow because it's going to be absolutely beautiful out there. Low humidity, clear skies, temperatures ranging from the upper 50s to lower 60s for lows. High temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s in your urban locations. Few mid to upper 70s right along Long Island. Overall, beautiful day. And notice we have dry air in place at almost all levels of the atmosphere. We see a little bit more of an increase in cloud cover by the time we get to Monday night. Now take a look at this for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, first of all, Tuesday, we have an increase in moisture at all levels of the atmosphere. We have a nice little low pressure system locked in the Aleutians, the Canadian Maritimes. Higher pressure around New England. Nice upper level low here. Now, this upper level low suppresses this disturbance, suppresses it towards the mid-Atlantic coast. So that by the time we get to Wednesday, you have a bit of a negatively tilted trough here. You have your block here. you have higher pressure, not a strong high pressure system. This isn't like the winter where we get like a 1038 millibar high pressure system locked in and Arctic cold air flown in. But you get higher pressure here in between these two low pressure systems, and you get a boundary located right around portions of the mid-Atlantic, let's say Delaware, Maryland, that location. And so as a result, you have plenty of moisture at the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere. Now take a look at this. I want to kind of jump here, go to Wednesday. Take a look at this. I'm going to zoom in here. And these are the winds at the mid levels, at 850 millibars. And notice what we have here. We have a nice little upper level low, and we have winds coming in from the Atlantic at the mid levels. Meanwhile, over to the south, we have a nice little ridge here. So we have moisture at the mid levels coming in from the Gulf of Mexico and from the Atlantic. And then moving forward, let's zoom out again. Time we get to Thursday, again, generally the same idea. You have moisture coming in from, basically this flow from the Gulf of Mexico runs up to about Virginia and Delaware. And then over the northern mid-Atlantic, you have winds coming in from the Atlantic. And moving forward beyond that point, say about 10 days out, notice again, look where we have our winds coming from. Now from the north, right from southeastern Canada. So it's all about a matter of trying to figure out where are our air mass sources. If you can pick out the sources, you kind of get an idea what type of weather we could expect. And obviously, if you have winds coming in from the north and the northeast by the end of the 10-day period, you're not going to build yourself a heat wave. You're going to have a rather tranquil, cool pattern. And you could see moving out 10 days, nice trough around the Aleutians, ridge building over the west, trough trying to situate itself over eastern North America with a nice little polar vortex way up here near the North Pole. Don't worry, it's not getting anywhere near us. And you can see a ridge building over Greenland and lower heights over the northwestern Atlantic. And all this points to high pressure dominating from Canada, not from Bermuda, but from Canada, with a trough or a weak boundary basically separating the warm tropical air mass that you normally see in the summer over the southeast, and we remain under the influence of the northern Atlantic and northeastern Canada. So to kind of break this down, for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you have overcast to broken clouds, periods of showers, not a washout the whole time, but periods of showers through the period as you get disturbances rotating through along that stationary boundary to your south. Temperatures generally range from the lower to mid 60s for lows, high temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s. If you get a little bit of sunshine, you could break out to about 83, 84 degrees in this type of weather pattern. But overall, looking for upper 70s to lower 80s for most locations. So we're averaging near to slightly below normal for this time of year in this weather pattern. By Friday, Saturday, and next Sunday, high pressure will be in control from Canada, leading to cool weather conditions. Not incredibly cold, but definitely very low humidity, comfortable weather pattern in place for Friday, Saturday, and next Sunday, with temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s for lows, and high temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.